50 or so, certainly is hard.
Yeah.
Oh, we're just talking with the air.
I heard you. I'm going to get to convention to receive the message. No matter what happens, so we're going to make a.
I'm sure when you do something that's just like make it fun.
We were saying about this.
How are you?
So we're just gonna wave.
Wave, somebody told you.
Now they got money, they can believe this.
Congratulations, you will be a great president.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. On behalf of my colleagues, it's my great pleasure to welcome you, our distinguished guests and members, to the inauguration of the 57th Chancellor of the College of Fellows of the American Institute of Architects. I'm delighted many of the present and past leaders of the American Institute of Architects, the College of Fellows, and a number of AIA senior staff members are here to witness and be a part of tonight's celebration. Please stand as I introduce you. AIA 2018 President, Carl Elefante, FAIA, and his wife, Adriana. AIA First Vice President, Bill Bates, FAIA, and his wife, Maggie McDermott. AIA First Vice President-elect, Jane Frederick, FAIA, and our husband Michael. The former College of Fellows Chancellors, would you all please stand as you recognize? The former AIA Presidents, please stand as you recognize. This job was a learning experience for me from day one. I can't recall another organization in which I jumped immediately onto the executive committee without first being a member, being perhaps chair of a few committees, and that sort of thing before I was actually on the executive committee. But all of a sudden, here I was in 2014 on the executive committee with honestly little understanding of how it, or the entire organization it served, really worked. Fortunately, there was a lot of help from my friends. Those of you who have had the opportunity to hold this position as Chancellor all had an executive committee surrounding you, and you know the value of that executive committee. As I depart this position, I have had a wonderful opportunity, a learning opportunity, to share my growth in the college as I followed Bill Stanley, Al Rublin, John Sorrenti, and Lenore Lucy. Not one of these was less than a wonderful mentor in ways as different as their personalities. Thank all of you. Thank you very much. found there to be something extra special, as all of you former chancellors know, about those who served on my ex-con. I guess it was a feeling of a special bond, a camaraderie, of working together for common goals with a feeling of openness which allowed a respected view from every one of us to listen to a different opinion or a different idea. Perhaps a subtle warning about unintended consequences, or maybe a fresh idea about a slightly different path to one of our common goals. Yeah, that's what brought us together, I'm sure of you guys. Thank you. And not just the four of us, I might add, but the spouses were right there with us too. They brought us together also. Thank you, ladies. I can absolutely state without a doubt that our College of Fellows continues in excellent hands for at least the next 4 years, because I know every one of my successors. If you think I'm just being nicely patronizing to them, you just don't know me well enough. I could not be more sincere. They responded to every request I asked of them. They frequently were already a step ahead of me. They were efficient, organized, prompt, deliberate, and always, always respectful of every person, every issue, every potential outcome. Let me start with the man who will replace me this evening. I kind of knew this tall, lanky one, always slinking around, roaming around, taking photographs. Little did I know how well we would bond, how close we would become. If a Labrador Retriever was tall and thin, that would be infinite advantage. Just be looking up at me saying, what can I do for you? What can I fix for you? Just throw me something, please. I'll handle it for you. Thank you. And to Ruby, his wonderful wife, who did so much for the College of Fellows for the ex-con at the same time. Thank both of you very much. I know that both of you did a fantastic job in 2019, and I look forward to it as we all do. Now the next two, and I'll take them one at a time after I say a couple of words first, but the next two are the most organized men in the world. It's kind of like that beer ad, you know, the most interesting man in the world. These two are the most organized men in the world. Good gosh. Graphs, graphics, 3-ring binders, laptops, files, 6 copies, instead of just 5, 6 in case something happened. They'd hand all that out to all of us, and if we couldn't get, that would be me, if we couldn't get our computer to work, or forgot that printout that they handed me yesterday, I just got a simple little extremely polite voice saying, here Skipper, here's another copy. We're taking care of you, don't worry, we've got your back. First, our soon-to-be Vice Chancellor, and the one who came in second as the most organized man in the world, only because he forgot one of his 3-ring binders at his home where our last ex-con came. His wit as dry as his beloved Martinis. Peter Cutler was an extraordinary verser for 2 years, watching over our dollars, explaining via multicolored graphs the ebb and flow of revenues and expenses. And no wonder he is so good, as his wife, Elaine, surely molded him into excellence for these many years. We look forward to 2 more great years from Peter and Elaine. Thank you. Now for the most organized man in the world. No one can imagine the unbelievable manner in which John Castellano pieces his COF work together, nor the manner in which he subtly leads a task group or committee. His presentations are masterfully done, clearly indicating in a most succinct way, and I mean that, most succinct, clear way, the path to a successful solution. Of course, along with John came Barbara, and I'm going to use another little analogy with a little brevity to it, I hope. Ever vivacious, with that infectious laugh, and I'll continue with the dog analogy. Barb is the little poodle that's just, extra heels and jumping up and down. And you hear her saying, "Let's go do something fun!" Exclamation point. Anything! Exclamation point. I don't care what, come on, let's go! Exclamation point. Thanks, John and Barb. Recognize as I slip into the past, as Terry had said to me a little while ago, Skipper, who? And that's what it's going to be like in another few minutes or an hour. I want to introduce our incoming bursar, Roger Swans, with his daughter, Justine. Roger, can't wait to have you two and your other daughter, two daughters join us. Thank you. Good to have you. Finally, and most importantly, my wife of 55 years, Brian, for her understanding of my trials, frustrations, and occasional triumphs, for working with me in planning meetings and events. Thank you, all of you, for your leadership, your support, for your friendship. I love all of you. Thank you. It's now my pleasure. It's now my pleasure to introduce the 94th President of the AIA, Carl Elefante, FAIA. I did not know Carl prior to his election to his current position, but in this last year, Carl, we had a wonderful relationship, sometimes necessitated by quite critical issues. They ran between the extremes of some thinking, AIA leadership and Robert, some thinking that AIA was just a subset of the College of Fellows. And some thinking that the College of Fellows was just another run-of-the-mill committee of the AIA. It ran that entire extreme. Carl always understood and respected the relationship between the two, as did I in turn. And I think it was that mutual understanding and that respect which allowed us to approach and resolve mutual issues which well served both and were detrimental to neither organization. It gives me great pleasure to introduce Carl Elefante, FAIA, President of the American Institute of Architects.
So when we arranged this evening, nobody told me that I was going to have to follow Skipper. Terry, we have to talk. It's such a pleasure to be here tonight. And it's such a pleasure to have the opportunity to be up here following Skipper. Your leadership is inspirational to me, and someday I hope to kind of live up to a standard like yours. So I've been trying to figure out what my dog analogy would be tonight. I haven't come up with anything very good because I have a mini dachshund at home who basically just bosses us around. So if Pam Day was in the room, I would make an analogy about Pam Day and a mini dachshund bossing me around. We'll have to hold that for some other time. So, no one tell Pam, okay? So, let's get on with it. So Chancellor Post, Vice Chancellor Vance, and members of the college, it's really my delight to be here as the AIA President and to be here with all this distinguished company of guests. On all the dimensions of serving AIA leadership, the one that has meant the most to me has been the opportunity to build strong bonds of goodwill with so many people. And it has been the most engaging and satisfying part of being the president of AIA. And as I know, your friendship, the friendship of so many people in this room, will continue to mean the most to me in the years ahead. It's a great honor and privilege to be here tonight among this room of many, many good friends. I've had the great good fortune to be the president during a year of intense demand for architectural services. Architects nationwide and even globally have been working at full capacity. The profession is strong, and AIA is strong. It's a great privilege to be able to say that as president of the Institute. So let's take a moment to smell the roses. Let's celebrate this extraordinary success. That, by the way, is an applause line. It's been an extraordinary year, it really has been. I'll try to take credit for it, but I can't, frankly. As important as our success as a profession, or as important as the strength of the Institute has been, the rising confidence and determination that architects have exhibited this year means even more. More and more architects are stepping forward, speaking up, taking on intractable social, economic, and environmental challenges, and confronting them in their communities, venturing beyond their comfort zone, leveraging their position as trusted leaders, and engaging directly as civic leaders, where their experience, collaborative spirit, and commitment to making the world a better place has done the greatest good. Among AIA members, 5 issues stood out in 2018, and these are many of the things that Skipper was referring to a minute ago. Homelessness, school safety, immigration, climate change, and equity in our profession. Architects across the country got involved as concerned citizens, as design professionals, and as community leaders. Members of the College of Fellows played a pivotal role in driving positive change. I want to say that again. Members of the College of Fellows played a pivotal role in driving positive change. More than 600 fellows signed Resolution 1816, and I have to say as an aside, the biggest amazement for me personally of being AIA president this year is things like Resolution 1816 actually really means something to me. It's like, just say the number and I know exactly what you're talking about. Anyway, it was demanding decisions and immediate action by the Institute to promote equity and equitable practices and to sanction abusive behavior in our profession. Not an easy issue. And yet, as fellows, each of us learned in our own time and circumstance that being elevated to the college is a new beginning, the start of a deeper commitment to the profession and to leadership. And I believe that architects taking direct action, architects leading the profession and institute in addressing the difficult issues where our leadership is needed the most, signals an important trend in our profession and in the College of Fellows that will thrive and grow for many years to come. Luke 12:48 comes to mind. In 2018, I had the honor and privilege to lead the Institute as hundreds, even thousands of architects stood up to proclaim their blueprint for better. It is what makes our profession, our institute, and the College of Fellows purposeful and powerful. So let's smell the roses together. Let's celebrate. So join me as I read this citation for your colleges and, on the AIA board. And Chancellor Post, come forward. The American Institute of Architects, its board of directors, is pleased to confer this presidential citation. This presidential upon Raymond G. Post, FAIA, for his commemorative service to the AIA College of Fellows. It is, as the 56th Chancellor, stimulating a sharing of interest among fellows, promoting the purposes of the Institute, and advancing the profession of architecture and mentoring young architects. all in ever-increasing service to society. Signed, Carl Alfante, FAIA, 2018 President. Bruce W. Campbell, FAIA, Secretary, December 2018. Congratulations.
Thank you, Carl, and please extend my appreciation to the entire board. It's a great honor for me to serve as the Chancellor and to lead the College of Fellows this past year. We've got one additional champion we'd like to recognize tonight. He's a fellow who has supported the college in many ways, but notable is his generosity of providing exceptional venues for this inaugural event. Will Stephen Ayers join me at the podium? Steve? And while it was supposed to be while Steve was walking to the podium, but your applause overwhelmed my capability of saying we also welcome Jennifer, his wife. Thank you so much. Steve, we'd like to present this certificate of appreciation for your help in securing these auspicious venues for our Chancellor inaugurals, and for being a Chancellor, I might add. I mean, being a fellow. No, you're not Chancellor. For being a fellow. The certificate reads, and I'm going to hand it to you as I read it from the script. The AIA College of Fellows, through its executive committee, is pleased to confer the citation for outstanding service upon Stephen T. Ayers, FAIA, the 11th architect of the Capitol, a respected leader of his profession and his country, whose bedrock priorities and principles anchored his profound understanding of architecture and its role in our society to improve the lives of those it serves. His unparalleled dedication and vision led to the preservation of America's house, leaving a legacy of sustainable design practices and initiatives throughout the nation's Capitol complex. A committed supporter of small business, he shaped national policy to better reflect the diversity of our country. His unwavering and selfless commitment to the Institute and to the College of Fellows has been equal by few, surpassed by none. Signed by the College of Fellows Executive Committee. Congratulations and thank you, Steve.
Thank you and good evening, everybody. Before I offer prayer, I'd just like to take this moment to thank all of you, and especially thank Ed for inviting me and allowing me to participate in this wonderful ceremony. I am not an architect, but I have the distinction of being almost a lifelong friend of Ed's. And we actually began our friendship in the architecture program at North Dakota State University many long years ago. Our career paths went different ways, but back when we started, I don't think we ever would have dreamed we'd end up in this venue tonight. And so on behalf of all your friends back in the great state of Minnesota, congratulations. It seems highly fitting that we should offer thanks and praise to our God now for all these accomplishments. So please join me in prayer. Heavenly Father, we bow our hearts and our heads and focus on you now to give you thanks for the privilege of gathering here tonight, for the blessing of the relationships that you have given to each of us, and for the talent, character, and achievements that you have given to Ed throughout his life and his career. And we thank you for your presence here amongst us tonight. We ask, Father, that you would guide our thoughts, our words, and our actions tonight, tomorrow, and always. We ask that you would walk and help him fulfill his role as the 57th Chancellor of the AIA College of Fellows. We ask that you would lead and guide all of us in these next days and months, and we ask that you help us to share your light and your truth. We ask your blessing upon this food tonight and upon our time together, and we pray these things, Father, through the grace and mercy that you first gave to us through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord, and with you and the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. It's time now to join in the fellowship of friends as we dine together. Tonight's program will resume after the dessert. Thank you. While I do this, and before I start on something I wasn't quite ready to do it a little while ago, but I'm going to do it now. I want to recognize and express our appreciation for what was not an easy trip, I'm sure, for one of our former presidents, and we're so happy to have him here with us and with his caretaker and his love, Tom and Gretchen Penny. So glad to have you. At this time, I'm going to call up the former chancellors, and as I call your name, it's going to be in the order of your service to the College of Fellows. And I am going to start then with 1992 Chancellor L. James Hastings, FAIA, if you'd come forward as I call your name. 1993 Chancellor John A. Busby, FAIA. 1998 Chancellor Harold L. Adams, my classmate from Texas A&M. Harold. And one who couldn't be with us because he doesn't feel well, but I'm going to say his name anyway. Another Texas A&M graduate, Jimmy Tittle, FAIA. Jimmy couldn't join us tonight. 2002 Chancellor C. James Lawler, FAIA. Jim. 2003 Chancellor, good gosh, my good buddy, Phil Damiano, FAIA. 2004 Chancellor Betsy Olenek Dougherty, FAIA. 2010 Chancellor Edward J. Codet, FAIA. 2013 Chancellor and another Texas A&M graduate, Chancellor Ronald L. Skaggs, FAIA. 2014 Chancellor William J. Stanley, III, FAIA. 2015 Chancellor Albert W. Rubley, FAIA. 2016 Chancellor John R. Sorrenti, FAIA. And 2017 Chancellor Lenore M. Lucy, FAIA. Out at the end of my service, my tenure, and I'm glad to say, one time I'm going to invite one of these people up if I had the courage to do it and say, so-and-so, AIA, just for the heck of it, just to see if you notice that I didn't say FAIA. Tonight we honor the legacy of these former chancellors and all the former chancellors who have helped establish and lead a robust community of professionals who represent a 21st century College of Fellows. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to one of our members' most passionate advocates,
Edward A. Vance, FAIA. Ed, this occasion is rich in ceremony, protocols, and long-standing traditions. Thank goodness we still do some of that. Thank goodness. It is equally represented by one single yet powerful statement. It's a statement that belies the tremendous responsibility as well as the honor of serving as Chancellor of the AIA College of Fellows. And I'm going to say, with this medal, we invest the 57th Chancellor of the American Institute of Architects of the College of Fellows, Edward A. Vance, FAIA. I don't want to let go of it. And with this medal, we invest the 57th Chancellor. We're all confident you will be an inspired and effective leader. Congratulations. Ed?
It says here, Ed steps aside, Skipper calls up. No, never mind. So thank you, Skipper, and I should really call him Chancellor Post. That's a more formal thing to do. And so as my first act as Chancellor, it's my honor and privilege, Skipper, to confer upon you the former Fellows Chancellor's Medal. And I'll ask Carl to help me do that as well. And now you fix that way it works.
The College of Fellows has begun this year with a new tradition. At its inaugural, the most senior former chancellor in attendance to offer a toast. This year, this honor has fallen on me. Traditions, they're wonderful events, and we look forward to them every year, reuniting with our special friends. 65 and a half years ago, I witnessed the college's first tradition, our investiture, 1953 AIA convention in Seattle. During the final banquet, the attending fellows were called to the head table. Their citations were read, and their certificates were then given. Chancellor Walker, Ralph Walker, completed the ceremony with the initiative repeating an oath. Medals, of course, had not been invented yet. They were not designed yet. Now, just 25 and a half years ago, that's just yesterday, John Busby, Chancellor John Busby, introduced our second tradition, as I think of it, with the former chancellors finally having a role in the investitures. No longer did we have to solo on stage, only shaking hands, never allowed a role beyond that. I was the last of those, by the way. Okay. So, to introduce the third tradition, I believe it's the third, is therefore my honor, on the behalf of the former chancellors assembled in front of me, to offer this toast. The Skipper. Okay, Skipper, we commend you and toast you for charging us to carry the message of our work as thoughtful, healthy, conscientious, and most of all, vital to the neighbors, vital to our clients, and vital to our communities, because everyday architecture matters every day. Okay, where's Ed? Way down there. Okay, this is for Ed. The new kid, the newest link in this legacy of leadership, the AIA College of Fellows 57th Chancellor, Edward A. Vance, FAIA, brings to this office the knowledge gained from his leadership at every level of the Institute to continue to move the college into the forefront, ever informed by the past and the illuminating our way into the future. So, it's time to raise our glasses and toast Skipper, but you know, we don't have any glasses up here.
So thank you, Jane. Thank you, Skipper. And thank you, Carl. On Friday, Carl will be standing behind another lectern introducing his successor. Allow me, please, to do it first. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the first Vice President, President-elect of the American Institute of Architects, Bill Vance, FAIA. Bill?
As we each, Ed and I, embark on our prospective year-long journey of leadership, it's comforting and inspirational to look across tonight's assembly of those of you who've deftly guided the profession towards ever increasing service to the built environment and our society. Together we stand on the shoulders of those present and those stalwart architects who have served us and the Institute before. It's a humbling honor to stand with Ed, poised to continue the great legacy that each of you have contributed to. The collaboration of the American Institute of Architects and the College of Fellows is structured around a shared vision that has been inspirational for me and certainly aspirational for future generations of architects. And I'm looking at you. There are so many things that the College of Fellows does that it is instrumental to leading the next generation to being better. And each generation has room to improve on what we do, and it's great to be a part of that. So I congratulate you, Ed, and the 2019 College of Fellows Executive Committee. I look forward to working with you in 2019. It's just going to be a great year. We're going to do wonderful things, I'm sure. And I feel deeply privileged to be part of your inaugural celebration. So here's to you. I should have brought my glass up to toast you, but we'll get plenty of chances to do that through the course of the year. And my best wishes to all of you.
So thank you, Bill, and congratulations again on your advancement to the AIA President tomorrow. Chancellor Post, my good friend, Chancellor Post, members of the executive team, and that's a $10 fine. So let me start over. Chancellor Post, members of the College of Fellows Executive Committee, officers of the American Institute of Architects, honored guests, AIA members everywhere, I am both proud and humbled to stand before you tonight. Proud to be so honored by colleagues I admire and respect. Humbled because I want to live up to the trust you've shown in me, and I want to be worthy of the incredible responsibility of being a faithful steward of the legacy of those who have come before me. With your support and your encouragement, I pledge to do my very best to serve the profession we all love. Now, in high school, I was a student athlete, and as you can tell, my sport of choice was not football. I was tall at an early age, and so I gravitated toward basketball, never considering another sport. Except one day my coach came up to me and said, "Have you ever considered track?" It was an early lesson in mentorship. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about that later. A track might seem like an intensely individual sport rather than an exercise in teamwork, but not when you run the relay. The lead runner takes the baton and sets the pace, for the other members. Before you hand it off, the next runner accelerates so there's a smooth transfer and the pace of the team is maintained. The leadership analogy is rather obvious. For a short time, we carry the baton, not for ourselves, but for the rest of the team. The pace has been set by those who have come before us, and our challenge is to maintain that pace for those who follow. Then hand that baton off as the team speeds toward its goal. So I tend to see the elected chancellors of the College of Fellow as an endless mile relay team of 4. Each of us standing ready, providing our support until we ultimately take the lead for ourselves, passing the baton to the next in line, fading to the back as those who come forward. So I'm pleased and proud to take the baton, looking forward to hand it off to Peter this time next year. With that in mind, I'd like to offer an answer to those who ask this simple question: what does the College of Fellows do? What is its reason for existing? Who does it serve? My answer is, we are the pace setters of the profession. The pace setters. The goal is obvious: a truly inclusive, prosperous profession, prepared through training and experience, not to serve just some, not even the many, but all of society, through the power of design. Everyone. How do we set that pace? By keeping our eyes fixed on 3 markers: the body of knowledge, the very source of our profession's credibility, the young women and men who are the future of the profession, and third, the capacity of the college to enable the research that builds that body of knowledge and to commit ourselves to mentor the generations that will come after us. These markers are priorities, if you will. Research, mentoring, and organization should be familiar. They're not priorities that I've thought of. All 3 are the outcome of visionary leadership of those who have come before me. They set the pace. They established the Latrobe Prize, our profession's most generous grant to those who are adding to the body of the profession's knowledge. A $100,000 grant given biannually to support research leading to significant advancements to the architectural profession. With next year's prize, the college will have awarded $1 million since its inception in 2000. Let me tell you a story. It came out of an invitation that Chancellor Lucy offered to me in the 27th Latrobe Prize. I was able to observe, and after the award was given, I went up to the recipient and naturally congratulated them. But I found myself asking the recipient, you know, as generous as the $100,000 is, it seems like a drop in a bucket relative to 2 years of intense research required. The response was a bit eye-opening, though. They told me, they said, you don't understand. The importance and the intense legacy that the Latrobe Prize offers opens doors that we didn't even know were there. And it was at that moment I realized how important the Latrobe Prize is to the research and academy. That's another applause line. Now this leads me to my second point, mentoring. The leaders who came up to the stage tonight invested in the future. They created and funded the Young Architect Award, a program that is adopted by an increasing number of components across the country. And together with the AIA, we support the Young Architects Forum, which addresses the relevant issues facing recently licensed architects, one of them standing right here. Our third priority is integral to the success of the first 2. With the generous support of our members, the leadership of the college has strengthened our capacity to support research, mentoring, and something of great importance to me, our capacity to communicate more effectively to our members and beyond. The result has been a progressive demystification
of what the college is and an increase to its prestige and impact. Not too long ago, I was having a conversation with one of our members who, for many years, procrastinated applying for fellowship. As we all know, it takes a fair amount of work to put those books together, with no guarantee of success. In the end, however, he took the plunge. Why? He did it for his parents. He wanted to show them what he had done in his career to impact the profession and practice of architecture. Now, he was rewarded immediately by the immense pride he saw in their eyes as they read his application. The entire effort was worth it, regardless of the outcome. Now, the good news, he was elevated in 2016. And his parents were there in the audience as he walked across the stage to receive his medal. And they wept with pride. I can't imagine a more persuasive endorsement for the prestige of fellowship. Can you? As we tend to mentor the YEF, we act as liaisons to their committees. And I found over the years that they have the biggest ears for our message. At an early age, they recognize that the membership in the college is a positive, long-term goal, a mark of distinction, very much worth the effort to achieve it. Tonight, as I look down the road of the next 12 months, I eagerly accept the commitment of the college has made to research, mentoring, and organizational strength. Not just to carry them forward, but to build on all three with the goal of leaving an even stronger college to the pace setters who will follow. I want to build on the research being supported by the Latrobe Prize, because in a world challenged by climate change, population growth, and the limits of natural resources, we must focus on the future adaptability and sustainability of the built environment. Research that can be applied rather than theoretical papers that must be shelved must be our goal, and it must be the goal of our profession. I want to continue the process of demystifying college and its purposes. This is something Chancellor Rubling began in 2015. We are now an integral part of the AIA board agenda. We have transformed and improved the college's newsletter, and we have made great progress in using the tools of social media to expand our message. But the message needs to be broadcast from many outlets, not just Washington. It's something like the image of the aspen tree that President Colleen Dreiling used to describe our interconnectedness. We need to provide the support to enable everyone to be a messenger. This is an opportunity for our regional representatives to step up and step forward to get the message out. I began my remarks by saying that running a successful relay race requires a dedicated team. The priorities I outlined tonight and the opportunities I want to pursue next year are not just something any one of us can do on our own. I certainly can't. Oh my God, my phone's ringing. That's a $50 phone. It's pretty sad when that's the best laugh I get. So let's pick up where I left off. Whatever I've accomplished, besides answering my phone, that has brought me here tonight would not have been possible without the support of all of you in this room. I would not begin to name names because I would risk inadvertently leaving someone out or speaking the rest of the night. I will spare you. However, I am compelled to recognize 4 former chancellors that I've had the privilege of serving with, starting with the incomparable Al Rubling, whose passion for doing more gave our members an understanding and that achieving fellowship is not an end, but a beginning. He was followed by the wise and caring John Sorrenti, whose driving passion was to lead by giving back to the profession that gave him so very much. Then came the powerhouse of enthusiasm, Lenore Lucy, who never missed an opportunity to advocate for a more inclusive, diverse, and relevant profession. And finally, Skipper Post, my captain, His kindness, Southern politeness, and willingness to always put other people's interests ahead of his own serves as our Northern Star as we can follow, as we that follow take the helm, each in our turn. I am indeed fortunate to call all of these fine people my friends. Whatever is achieved in the months ahead in advancing an agenda of research, mentoring, and organizational strength, it will not be achieved without your support. I can't step away from this stage without acknowledging a very special debt I have to the members of my firm for not only tolerating but supporting my extracurricular engagements with the college. Thank you. And I would be remiss, perhaps even risking bodily harm, if I didn't acknowledge before all of you the love of my life. Ruby, your name is fitting for the wonderful, rare, and precious jewel you are. Light of my life, sharer of my dreams, and loving consolation during these times that weary the body and tire the soul. You are the sun that brightens my day and the moon that lightens my path at night. I love you. John Bingham writes in A Beginner's Guide to the Joy of Running, the miracle isn't that we've finished. The miracle is that we've had the courage to start. I've worked with you, although complete success is always a bit below the horizon. Never be discouraged or tired. I know you have the courage and stamina to forge ahead. The race is good. We are the pace setters. We hold the baton. Let us begin. Thank you. In recognition of his dedicated leadership and service, Raymond G. Post, Jr., FAIA, 2018 Chancellor, College of Fellows. Thank you, Ed, and Jim Lowell, I promise this won't be very long. Thank you all, and I do mean every one of you, for the honor of serving you, the college, and the AIA. Thank you for this crystal, this certificate. And this medal. I said it last year when I got the original medal. Boy, we love our hardware as architects, don't we? This Sunday evening, after Brian and I have arrived home, I'll do the same thing I did in 1996 and be just as proud now for this coming Sunday as I was back in 1996 with my AIE President's Medal. What I did then and what I'll do again this Sunday evening, and it's going to be pretty chilly for those of you from the north. This won't mean much to you, but it's going to be about 36 degrees in Baton Rouge, which is enough to build a nice fire, a nice toasty fire in the fireplace. I will pour a glass of single malt scotch. Neat. And I will place this medal on the arm of my easy chair in front of the fire, and I will reflect on my many years here with you and the 3,200 fellows and the 93,000 members of the AIA as president then, as chancellor now. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So that's the voice.